This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another, another episode. A bonus episode of AI, the Somnium Files. In the last episode, we beat the game, saw the credits, saw most of the people getting on well. You know, some people had better endings than others, and overall it was a nice ending because Iizuka came back somehow, even though they said all her data was... I was lied to. All her data was destroyed, but whatever. Power of soul and faith and whatever, yada yada yada. So anyway, when you beat the game, you can unlock the dance sequence. I think it just shows the whole... I don't know if it shows the whole credits again or if it's just the dance a little bit at the very end there. Oh, it's a practice mode, so you can... Let's see, we can swap up the background part, I guess. Oh yeah, Lemnis Gate, Saigon Household. Looks like it takes a little while for the background to load. Sunfish Pocket. Oh, it even plays the credits again. The Temple. I guess you can turn off the lyrics if you want. Yeah, okay. Bloom Park. Boss's office. Interrogation room. The sink room. Outside the sink room. I assume it just has the backdrop for every single area. Yeah, the diner. Even though we just heard the in song last time. Oh, there. Oh, I like that she's on the rock in this case. But Seijima outside, Seijima inside residence. I'm actually not a fan of this song. I don't think it's actually that good. But anyway, sorry. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of this like poppy music, like this Japanese pop or whatever. Yeah, that's the Kumakura's base. The warehouse, or the harbor, I guess, technically. Outside the Golden Yokocho. I think you can even... you can rewind the dance. You can slow the dance. You can fast forward it. Oh, that's actually kind of funny. That's the shovelware world or whatever. There's the Date's house. You can mirror image it too. Oh, it just flips to the other side. Okay, cool. Well, I don't know if I'd say cool, but nice. Okay, now we're repeating. Oh, it doesn't flip every single thing. Huh. And then you can switch the characters. Let's see. We got Aiba, Hitomi, Oda. Oh, it's loading this one a lot faster. Mizuki. Ugh. Oh yeah, I guess I should talk about the game while I'm doing it. So I guess I could talk about the characters. What? The taxi driver, very nice. For the most part, I like most of the characters. I think they did what they needed to do. Funny seeing her inside her bone structure as a running joke. The bodyguard, the Yakuza. These guys didn't do too enough to really have much of an impact outside. Random nurse marrying this dude. Why not? Oh, best character, big boobs dream over there. Big titted, what he said, big breasted receptionist. Random policeman. I thought that was not a bad joke. The running gag about not remembering his name in many of the past. The Yakuza who loves idols. Mama, the I guess information dealer. I guess we call her. Anyway, they're 89 or the new Date or the old Hatsuyo or whatever. The mom. Yeah, that was kind of sad about the dementia thing, but very few games talk about that type of stuff. With a game that has to deal with dreams and the brain and technology, it kind of makes sense they'd bring up something like that. Boss, best character. I'm sorry. Well, maybe oh, you can see behind her. Yes. Oh, that is a skirt, I guess. It just kind of looked like some super shorts, you know. Yeah. Well, actually, when you lift up her leg, you can see it kind of breaking, so I don't know if it was her model split, but I guess it is yeah, she's the best character because the one who secretly cared about you behind the scenes, tried to use all her power to, whether you saw her as a friend or whatnot. I assume she just saw you as a friend. I don't know if she ever wanted anything more of that. She always joked about that, but you never know. So, but in the end, if anything, she was a friend to you. Even all the paths that seemed like she was against you, but it all makes sense in the end. But yeah, I would say Boss is my favorite because she's almost similar to Date, you know. They're both sexually aggressive, you know. So, and then, she knows what she likes, but she was willing to do their job and help you out. So, worst character. I'm sorry, folks. She is obnoxious. I hate her. I hate the Tsundere's type, and I don't care if her parents died and all this other stuff. She was just a mean character throughout the whole thing, and I don't care if it was emotion, she's 12 or whatever. She was just being a jerk half the time, and I'm sorry. Like, at some point, you get annoyed at a joke, and that's one of the jokes that got annoying after a while in this game. I was just like, okay, you can stop now. You know, anyway. Oda, you know, typical creepy nerd kid who got too creepy, you know, Tomi. Poor girl, you know. The nice girl who suffered a wound trying to save her man and got punished for it, so. Then, yeah, she lost her best friends over the course of the story, one from 18 years ago and the one before the story, or not long afterwards. Aiba was the second best character. At first, you'd think I would hate her because you'd think her mocking Date, you'd think she's kind of similar to Mizuki, but she never got, like, it was almost more, the way she did, or maybe it was her voice actor, is more playful, at least I felt it was more playful banter than anything. At least that's how I thought it, anyway. And I don't know, I just liked her little mannerisms, you know, when they had her do stuff inside the Somniums, despite her best intentions, you know, and she'd always either get too aggressive or too silly about a situation, so you can tell the people who were making this game really, really liked messing with her because of that. And, Iris, I kind of got annoyed at Iris at first, but she kind of, I wouldn't say grew on me, but she got less annoying after a while, and I'm like, okay, you know, and you find out that you're her father figure after all this time, and you know, the whole brain tumor thing and everything like that. But no, yeah, it goes Boss and Aiba are definitely the best characters in the game so far. I don't think there's anything else I can really show. Yeah, you can turn off the UI, move the camera around, play at speeds, watch from the beginning again, mirror image. I guess the grand finale is probably the ending, right? When everyone's like dancing. Yeah, it just shows the full dancing or whatever. So, now also I want to go over the all the unlocked data and everything like that. So, let me pull up the file here. I don't know if it pulls up before the ending. I assume it does. I mean, otherwise, why would it? Okay, it does pop you up here. So, all right. So, oh, whoops. No, I don't want to do that. Let's go. Let's just reopen the investigation just somewhere. It doesn't really matter in this case. I guess I could go over the case file, but I almost feel like it's unnecessary because the case file basically just kind of gives you a synopsis of like everything that happened at that point in that little tale and everything like that. But yeah, I didn't actually show all the file stuff. But yeah, we showed that. Obviously, we saw I can show you the flowchart again just to kind of show. Is that supposed to be like anything? I feel like it is kind of weird that this is the true path. Because when I found out that there was the truth path, I was just kind of surprised. I'm like, wow, with you like dissing Iris and thinking she was crazy and all this other stuff, you almost think it was like some weird, super dark path or something like that. But no, it ended up being the true path in the end. I do like the fact that there were some splits in the story just to kind of say, hey, if this happened, this changed like how people viewed things. You know, the Oda becoming like a hero and possibly getting with Iris in the end, even though it's one of those things that yeah, he saved her, but it was almost like being together with him was almost kind of just because it almost felt like she was required to, not that it was actually truly a love. That's probably why that wasn't a true end. And then obviously the Mizuki path where they get to finally become a family, but at what cost type of thing, but yeah, it was two. And then the super dark ending where like basically everyone got killed and you screwed up so badly, you know. And then the super silly ending where you're basically white knighting Iris and all this other stuff. That was a bit silly. I guess they had to throw a joke ending in there. Oh, I guess you could consider Oda's ending a joke to an extent, even though it talked about Mayumi's dimension and everything like that. But this is truly the dark ending where you get into shovel forge and everything like that. But then the real ending there. But anyway, let's go over the case files. I stopped showing them like after the beginning of the game. I just want to go over some of the stuff. And these are all from unlocking them all in the Somniums and then the album complete. And if you saw the last video, I platinumed the game, which isn't that hard. It's just playing the game, basically. Let's see what we got here. A little Aiba on the horse. Very nice. Concept art for Mizuki. Looks like her design didn't really change that much. Although it might not be showing the whole, every single bit of art, because it looks like it only shows the one art. Oh, there's Aiba in her or I guess normal phone, and the other one would be her Somnium form or whatever. There's the Bloom Park concept art. There's her. Oh, popping out of the TV like Ringu or something, or the ring or whatever. Oh, there's Pewter's design. So basically, it looked like they added the coat later. But yeah, Pewter's kind of a sad character. He did create Aiba, but he was also like had a love that couldn't be expressed properly, as well as his love dying in Renju. They never really do go into much detail, other than at least because that happened at least in one of the past. So I assume there was some correlation to others, but yeah, they never really bring it up much again that was a big deal, other than that one path. So I don't know. But yeah, just never got requited. Unrequited love, and his lover died. So a drawing of Aiba in her regular normal phone. The psych route. Oh, we get a couple of different pictures here. Aiba in a barrel. A barrel? Oda. Oh, there's some of his original concept designs. It looks like he was shorter, some of that are more pronounced geeky than he was before. And I guess they wanted to go more realistic with him, I guess, in this case. Oh, flat Aiba got rolled over by a thing. Sunfish pocket. Aiba imitating the beer ad, very nice. Miyumi, the sad truth of age, as well as brain disease and everything. There's the dad. Wait, was it Santa Shirt again? Like, I thought it said hipster, but it almost looks like nipster or something like that. Oh yeah, the father who died before the story even began. So, yeah, birthday cake. Oh, some of the Kaname or whatever stickers. Huh. Very nice. He's not heavy. He's my brother, Shoko, who's even before this story was actually had been shoved into a different person's body, and then that Shoko was, I think, Renju at that point or whatever before when they got killed. Whatever. Yeah, the part at the end where they were switching bodies. When you start to get switching bodies territory, you start complicating the story a little bit. I kind of feel bad for the Renju's. Just it's almost like they were kind of just like a bad product, or just just accidents happen type of situation. Although they were bad parents, but they just deserve what happened to them. At least they weren't so bad that they were like, hungering their child, but they were bad. But pinned up Aiba. There's a Dora rabbit. Oh, it looked like it had a couple of different forms on there. The older form, the form they stuck with was pretty creepy. Calling on the phone. There's 89 or Date's original body, or who's that? Oh, is that just one of the random? Oh, is that what Date or the original 89? Is that what he looked like before? Maybe as an assassin? Huh. They kind of made him a bit more serious looking instead of scraggly. Oh, there's giant eyeball like Godzilla or King Kong or something like that. Saga and Household. Oh, body slamming, very nice. Oh, the boss, best character. I almost kind of wish there was not a bit more of her, but maybe a bit more in depth about. I don't know what I'm trying to say, like a bit more of her history or something like that. I don't know, well, maybe it's just because I like boss, so maybe that's why I wanted more of her. Oh, is that some alternate boss designs? Huh. That's kind of cool. I kind of like her, that ponytail one in the middle there with a green jacket. That one looks kind of cute. It kind of, I mean, obviously I know why they didn't keep it, because they were trying to make something that would be possibly more formal for, like, her work as a police officer, and I guess the outfit they went with was closer to that. But I do kind of like the one on the far right, too. Kind of reminds me of Ada from, like, Resident Evil or something like that. There's So's, yeah, the forklift. There's So, the asshole politician. Yep, the MoMA. I guess there's his ring right there. And Rohan, the guy who was obsession with eyeballs, dead eyeball or eyeballs from dead women. Oh, gotta love all the Aibas in silly situations going on. The sink machine. everything. No, the pyramids. There's Mama right there. I'm surprised they don't have it without her outfit on. Huh. There in the shrine. Oh, yep. Other best character, Boob's Dream over there. I kid, but Rainstorm. Stella! Iris. I guess Iris must not have changed too much, because, yeah, her hair was changed slightly, but that's it. Oh, worship the... Oh, is that another Iris? Oh, that's... Oh, possibly her young teenage years, that type of thing. Kid version. Sitting in a tree. Kind of reminds me of the Brave Little Toaster for some reason. That one scene with the flower in it. There's a Tomy. Yep, falling into the tree. Young Atomi. Young Renju. Yeah. Oh, I like a game I like games that give you concept design. Oh, it's like they kind of had a couple of different variations on the eyeball. Kind of looks like a little eyeball bear or something like that. Oh, and there's another version of Aba. That's not bad looking. I like her. I do like her final. Sometimes when I look at these concept arts, I usually end up liking like some of the art before the finalized concept. But I think I like Iba's final concept better overall. I think it works for what it is. Yep. No, get her out of the sink. Yep, and there's completing the album. Yay! Thank you for playing our game. But yeah, the game is kind of weird when it comes to like how I feel about it. I think it is a good murder mystery for the most part. Boys Love. Ooh, this is some of the stuff I never read before. Boys Love, a depiction of love and eroticism between men. Although it sounds vulgar, it is often displayed of pure, sublime love, and there are many worthwhile works of art in the genre. Don't be so close-minded, bigot. No, not my thing. If it's your thing, cool, but definitely not my thing. Isn't Yuri on Ice a boys love type of anime, or am I thinking of something else? But I don't know. I don't read that type of stuff, so and I don't really care to. Like I said, not really my thing. That interests me. But I'm not one of those guys that's like, you can't have this. I'm just like, yeah, just as long as you're not shoving it in my face, I don't care. Evolver. I think I might have gone over most of the stuff before. Computer invented at the request of Abe and Date. Yeah, the scientist dude. ICU, intensive care unit. Does not mean ICU. K Association, Kumakura Estates. Mama gives to the real estate companies under the name Kumakura Umbrella. LGBT. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. I love them all. Oh, you gotta cover your bases. No, I'm just kidding. Isn't it changed now? Have they added a couple extra letters since this game? I don't know. I mean, I'm not familiar. I mean, what's the word? I'm aware of it to the point of I don't care what you do, like in your own personal lives or what you do. Like I said, if as long as you don't shove stuff in my face, because I'm a very personable guy. I'm a guy who likes his alone time. I like being by myself and all this other stuff. So do what you do. You know what I mean? So as long as it doesn't mess with me and my personal life, then you go do whatever you want. The only issue I would ever have is if it hurts someone else. If what you do hurts someone else that's not okay with them, then I have a problem with it. But other than that, do whatever you want. So, Nile, neutral, yeah, just basically just Facebook, Twitter, whatever you want, whatever's social at this time. Japanese network. Usually, unless it like makes a flash, I probably haven't seen it before. I like the fact that they do talk about the stuff they mention in the story. You can go back and kind of read a more descriptive thing without having to have the game tell you everything about it. There serves the love hormone. It's weird that love is a hormone. Kind of like luck being a virus in certain science fiction. Yeah, the sink. The sinker. The mysterious prototype one that disappeared all of a sudden. Special assault team. Yeah. SSR, the rare, most valuable domination of cards in the electronic card game smartphones. I'm not familiar with that. Saitama, super rare. That's Saitama? Dork, a loser, geek. Really, you have to have things to tell you about like certain vernacular. X-ray mode. Yep, seeing and observing machines. Oh, yeah, that's the one where it says it can't be used to see panties. Electric shock function, which only got used once during the story, but it did get used to, well, I guess not great effect because that ended up in a bad ending, so, Slang for second. Really? Usually not literally a second. If I told my boss that the script would be ready in a sec, I would get scolded. ASET You Bet. A kind of call and response game that ASET plays with their fans. Japanese idols often create a special cheer or slogan for their fans to memorize and chant at concerts. Yeah, just to make them cult-like. I'll never understand, like, I like stuff, but I never like stuff to an extent that it's like you just, I don't know, because I quote things, but I don't know if I don't live it, if that makes sense. I don't know, it's just, because some of these people that like this stuff, I'm glad that you like a thing, but it's almost like it's almost cult status-y, the way some people act about this stuff. It's not like it's a hobby and you enjoy it. It's more like it is everything to me, But maybe that's just the minority, and most people aren't really like that. It just seems like those minorities seems to be exploded in certain media. So, ASET cheer works by ASET pronouncing in a category of having their fans come up with 2 words that rhyme with ASET in that category. Shovel Forge, a masterpiece of sandcross video games in which you create structures by stacking cubes on a map. A sandbox game refers to games in which there's no story or goal, allowing the player to just relax and play. The name Shovel Forge is a parody of a popular game in the same genre, which I will not mention for legal reasons. Yeah, I like the fact they bring that up at least. Isis and Iris. Iris claims that, according to one theory, Iris in Greek mythology is the same as Isis in Egyptian mythology, but this is just a theory. It may be the result of a popular Japanese urban legend, because I can't find many references on non-Japanese websites. Well, they say that there's certain mythology that might be the same in history, because if a lot of people reference it, there might be some ties to it, but Skanda, a Hindu god adopted into the Buddhist religion called Idaten in Japan. Legend has it that Skanda was a guardian of the Buddhist relics. The relics were stolen by evil demons, but Skanda proved his faith and his incredible speed by getting all the relics back. Certain super fast hero is named after Idaten. Super fast hero. Well, there's Quicksilver and there's the Flash. I know there's other speedsters in the hero genre, but Saito and Iris. Date was found. I don't want to read every single thing in this thing, because I'll just kind of skim over some of this stuff. Huh. Illuminati. Yep, that's the allegedly found in Ingolstadt in Bavaria in 1776. Originally just a private club of university professors and students, but now it has become. Actually, I better stop now before I mysteriously disappear. Yeah, it's on the dollar bill. Or is it just the dollar bill? I don't think it's all our money. How long? It's been a long time since I've straight up looked at cash in my country, so I might forget. Dojin. Fan-made books and comics that celebrate a particular franchise, usually erotic in nature. I don't have any, but I do need to do some research, so please send some. Who is that? Is that Date, I guess, who's writing this? Aerial yoga. Yoga involving floating in the air by suspending the yoga with cloth straps. 812. It's a studio, or not studio, a shop. Largest island of Curie Island. Epilogue timing. Oh, the epilogue. There's even a thing for the epilogue. That's fine. The epilogue is meant to take place in February, 3 months after the events of the main game. That would technically mean that Falco lost his memory 7 years ago. Yeah, in the epilogue, this incident is still referred to as having taken place 6 years ago. Why? Because I used 6 years ago so often in the game, I thought it'd be really confusing and everyone started saying 7 years ago. People aren't that stupid, But seriously, in the epilogue, Falco lost his memory 6 years ago. 6 years and 3 months ago, so I decided it would sound too clunky to be that specific. So 6 years ago is what we went with. So is this more like the writers, or just telling us a little stuff? Emo. Stirring the emotions, often negative or sad. Emoing. To express emotions, feeling, and actions according to that emotion, even though it may seem contradictory. When Date said he would cry tears of joy, this is an example of emoing. Yes, I made this word up, so don't say it means stuff like emoing is a word, lol. Elgorg. Enormous, no, I don't care about that types. Endorphins. Endogenous morphine released in the brain, relieves pain, calms nerves, and creates the feelings of euphoria. Totally unrelated to dolphins. Odwin Kiyoma. Oda's pet name. Ugh. Sunfish Pocket Man. Oh, you actually can look in the menu? Huh. This menu contains a number of special options that the customer can order, such as the mermaid will feed the customer with a spoon. The mermaid will play mahjong with the customer. The customer will may pat at the mermaid's head. What is it with them and patting like girls and guys' head like an animal? Whatever. The mermaid would often attend solely to the customer personally, whatever much that costs. The mermaid will write a message and ketchup on the customer's omelet rice. And there are a lot of I don't know about now, but there used to be a lot of bars and places that were tied to themes that were basically maid related, like you either wore French maid outfits or just think of a theme and there was probably something out there, and it's supposed to appeal to Japanese businessmen or people with extra money for something to get away for people who worked like, over 60 hours a week or however long a work week is for a typical Japanese associate. I know it depends on the business, and I've noticed they're trying to reduce how much Japanese businessmen work because it's a strain on your health and relationships and stuff like that. But for the longest time, it was like if you were aware of businessmen or Japanese businessmen, you were aware of their like crazy work ethics. It's ridiculous. Raw oysters from Hiroshima. The mermaid puts her thumbs into the customer's mouth and pulls. Okay. The mermaid gives the customer's elaborate back tattoo. What? The mermaid squeezes lemon juice onto the raw oysters from Hiroshima. The mermaid poses with the customer, takes a picture, then prints the picture into a custom tea set the customer can take home. The mermaid refills the customer's water after every sip. Every sip? Isn't that a bit redundant? Hippocampus. Yep, nothing to do with hippos, of course. Tabirity. National Research Institute Police. Institute Sciences. Spider crab. A species of marine crab that lives in the waters of Japan. Yeah, spider crabs are pretty creepy looking. Blah blah in the waters of Japan, blah blah blah. The rest of the description is boring, so I'm just gonna tell a joke. What happens if you flip a spider crab? You get a crab spider. That's what you thought, right? Sorry, wrong. I'll explain why in the entry for capsaicin. So look forward to that. Okay. Contact team for sports. Capsaicin, a pungent ingredient common in peppers. Irritant sprays such as pepper spray use this chemical. Okay, but on to why you're really here. The real answer is it doesn't matter. Spider crabs can't do flips. That's like a joke a 5-year-old comes up with. Show no mercy. Inspirational speech. Savior. Oda said that Tessa is his savior. Maybe some people reacted to this line by thinking, what? Isn't that a little extreme? Iris hasn't saved the world or anything, and she's not a Samaritan. But to people who are in trouble, people who are in a bad place in life, someone like Iris can be a savior. That's what matters. So, was this written after the game came out, or is this based off like a manga or something like that, like the story itself? I don't know. I didn't read the history of this game. Trunk, another word for the torso of the human body. Client, cloud storage. Yeah, we're all aware of that. Oh, Shuzue Kuranishu, boss's real name. She will be mine. No. Gluten-free. Gluten is a protein produced by the endosperms of cereals, such as wheat. Gluten-free refers to products that do not contain gluten naturally or have gluten removed. The nutritional benefits of gluten-free diet are not clear, despite its popularity among celebrities. It is not known whether gluten is harmful to the human body, save for those who have certain dietary problems. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's... gluten's in everything, and gluten-free stuff should only be for those who have that issue. Like, the whole craze about gluten-free stuff, it's just you to pay extra for food. It's ridiculous. Although brain tumors are cancers, they are not given stages. They are given grades. Grade 1 is benign, where grade 4 is the most malignant. Police department, blood-brain barrier. Prevents harmful substance to the bloodstream from brain cells. It is not a hard barrier like bone, but instead a semi-permeable membrane of the endothelial cells. Iba said that only objects of 0.4 nanometers or less can pass through, but that is not technically true. Some vitamins, amino acids, and glucose can pass through, though the exact mechanism of this is unknown. Time of arrival, saliva DNA, Kutika, accessory worn by indigenous people in New Guinea, a cylindrical sheath made from a hollowed-out gourd worn over the penis. Yeah, I've heard about that before. I think I've seen some pictures of that. Connectome. Connectome? A map of neural circuitry. There are approximately 100 billion neutrons in the human brain. It is thought that there are 1 trillion connections between them. Man, the human brain is such a fascinating thing when you think about it. More fascinating than a computer when you look at it. A collage, to glue in French, an art form that involves combining various materials such as printed paper, cloth, wires, wood pieces, sand, leaves, etc. Sand, I hate sand. It's coarse and gets everywhere. Pewter describes dreams as a collage of memories. It sort of reminds me of Mormon bubbles. Tell me something you love to see. Tell someone you love to image search it. Mormon bubbles, huh? Cortisone, a hormone secreted by the adrenal cortex triggered by stress, increasing heart rate, body temperature, blood pressure, and blood glucose, and activates the body's defensive mechanism, is a neurohormone by brain secretes constantly. Conflict. You have to give us a description of a conflict, huh? Conspiracy to commit murder. Sub. Abbreviated for sub-account, an account that is managed by some. Oh, I thought that was going to mean something else. Sunpoke, that's the... Oh, is that the one that references Anagram of Spike Chunsoft? Yeah. The people who made the game. What F believed himself generally phrase describes someone with the total authority of the determination. Some would call it arrogance to carry it out. Not all that is dissimilar to the boss. Shokatan, an island located in the eastern part of Habamai Archipelago off Hokkaido. Sink, puncture wound, a kind of stab wound. Wine and underwear are best when aged. As I have been mentioning, this is most definitely not a real saying in France. The French and the Japanese tend to have opposite interpretation of things. I'll let you decide who has it right. Phonia, yeah, this is the one where you can't speak entirely. Swiss Army knife, yep. Juro, kind of ramen. Jurisdiction, yep, we know that. Sanity, legal term that applies to the situation when someone is said to have lost all judgment or behavioral control over themselves and thus cannot be legally responsible for their actions. Stand alone. BFF, best friends forever. Gestational satellite, mass hysteria. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. The women in So's Somnium, they even have to have descriptions on that. Kawasaki District, Delirium. Osiris's Resurrection, the history of resurrection, time of Somnium, Mafia. Estate Housewife's Cooking. A cooking magazine popular among working class families. Date misinterpreted this magazine to be a legendary erotica magazine prized by fans and collectors. So prized, in fact, that it sells for eye-popping prices online. Underground. Shoot. Someone who says when throwing out their hands at rock, paper, scissors. Oh, please. Oh, it was, in this context, incoming call history. Oh, it's a draw spittle. I mean, I don't mind a game having like an appendix for words or phrases used without having to take you out of the loop, but you can look it up later. Sup, girl, blow these boys away. Phrases that only the cool kids like Iris use. Iris is a cool kid? I'm a cool guy, I'm a cool guy. Signifier in an in-group, don't misuse or misspeak it. Diss. Slang for to insult, originally an American word. It has found its way to Japan. Possibly abbreviation for disrespect. Yeah, pretty much. Pupil dilation. Pupil that eye will dilate upon death. Dopamine. Reverse must be... Yeah, we've heard that before. We had a whole of episodes on it. Internet cafe. Yeah, you go to cafes to just... If you don't have a PC at home or whatever, you can use it to do a bunch of things. Sometimes called net cafes or PC cafes. Originally, these were simply cafes that featured internet-connected computers, but modern Japanese internet cafes also feature private booths, may feature manga, magazines, or waitresses similar to a manga cafe. The booths are typically 10 by 10 feet tall and walled in by tall partitions, but booths sometimes have a reclining chair, matted floors, perfect for reading manga, browsing the internet, napping, or watching videos. Somewhere to basically get away from home, because there's a lot of spaces in Japan that are kind of short, because if you've ever looked at Japan's landmass, there's not a lot of it, so because most of Japan is an island, so it's like mountainous and stuff like that, so that's why you see like a lot of people when they have their rooms are only like they're only so big, unless you're like super rich or live out in the countryside or whatever, if you're lucky. We party. Atomi's visit. Cower. Dompi, a world famous champagne. I'm just seeing if there's anything like really. Whoa! The Freemasons, of course, it covers up the whole screen. A fraternity founded sometime between the late 16th century and early 17th century. Publicly, they're an organization devoted to the improvement of moral character. But in reality, they are as could you. Yep. The Eye of Providence. A symbol from Christian theology depicted as an eye enclosed in a triangle. Providence, meaning of divinity and guidance, and an eye that represents God's all-seeing eye that looks down on all of humanity. Originally, the Eye of Providence was not defined to be either the right or left eye specifically. However, most depictions of the Eye of Providence today are drawn as the left eye. Or, who's the other person who looks like this in real life? It's from Gravity. Is it Gravity Falls? Oh, I forgot the guy's name now. I actually I actually only watched like... Did I ever actually watch an episode of the show? Because I never had the Disney Channel when it came on. Cypher, or whatever his name is? Maybe? Anyway. Yeah, bolt action rifle, head office. Cannot see. Eyelashes, jobs. When it's used by Yakuza, it likely means illegal or unscrupulous activity. It also has sexual connotation, but I wouldn't know anything about that. And I gotta remember that sometimes there's like a little comedy in the writing. Reggie owns gig. Rockefeller. Oh yeah, I'm surprised I mentioned Rothschild and Rockefeller. That's more American families. 3 Laws of Robotics from Isaac Asimov. We stand. Tips for investigation for the Somnium. Yeah, the game wasn't really that hard. I don't think it was meant to be though. It was meant to be just a, point-and-click adventure game following a story, and then you just kind of got there with no difficulty at all. It was all about the story itself. Well, Date, our main man, who that ended up being Saito's body instead. There's Aiba, one of the best girls. Excellent. I don't know if these were a lot of these were updated, but I guess they weren't updated past the point. There's Iris. I'm surprised it doesn't have her measurements there. They usually will do stuff like that in these types of games. Let's plays, you know. Likes the occult. Uh-oh. Hitomi. 37, huh? Iris' mother. Mizuki, the worst character. I'm sorry, I just don't like her. There's probably people who love her character, because, you know, whatever, but I'm like, no. Renju. You know, you try to help your friend, had a bad marriage, and then you got killed by some crazy psychopath, you know. Well, like I said, in most of these... Oh, why does it not say deceased there? You think it would have updated it. Yeah, Shoko got her body possessed by a mobster. Yep. Yeah, who knew when you started out the game that it was going to be about body swapping and all this other stuff instead of just being a straight up murder? Well, I didn't read much about. I only read the synopsis, a basic synopsis of the game, so obviously I didn't know what was going to happen. But yeah, it's always interesting how some of these stories will turn into to try and change them up from the original concept for the murder mystery story, you know, genre. Hobbies, net idols, and maid cafes, of course. He's kind of your typical otaku type of character. There's quite a few of them in Japan. Well, actually in America too, I guess, for the most part, because a lot of that culture's kind of seeped into American culture and certain geek scenes. I mean, I'm playing this game for God's sake, so that means I don't know if it means I'm the same, but I've been influenced, you know, to a point. Part-time worker. There was the dad. The face always threw me off. At least they did a different type of face, you know. Unlike a lot of people who use like the same face, but they change like just the hair or something like that. He dislikes customers who don't finish their food. The asshole politician. You've always got to have a story. Usually a murder mystery always deals with some politician of some sort. Man, she looks good for a 42-year-old. Likes wine, gore dolls, anything black. She likes anything painted black. Yep. Quick Cunning as Fox and Quick Wit. There's Pewter. Magical girls? Well, okay. Working with machines, collecting dojin? Uh-huh. Well. No, he doesn't like bugs. I'm surprised I never brought that up at one point. Well, then again, this is just for those who like... Because I noticed in a lot of Japanese culture, they kind of like learning a lot about certain characters in a story, even if it has nothing to do with it. Like, they just want to know more about it, so... how's the uncanny ability to detect virginity? I don't know, that's kind of creepy. MoMA. Magic tricks. Beatboxing? Huh. This is random stuff. Likes chivalry. And women. Well, don't we all, folks? Okay. Rohan, yeah, dislikes betrayal. You don't say. Organ trading is a hobby? Oh, yeah, because of the eyeball thing and everything. And Monica, another one who loved a much older man. And then it ended up biting her ass because her son was crazy. The son of the guy was crazy. Yeah, they never really go into much detail about that, about how she ran into So and all that. But I guess it didn't need to because it wasn't the main focus of the story. Because that could have been a story on its own, like this young woman who ends up falling for like an old congressman, you know. Now, how'd that happen? Oh, there's Saito in his final form. Well, I feel pleasure from murder. Yep, Mysterious 89. And then there's us at the end of the game. Dislikes zombies. Evil crimes. Evil crimes? What type of... Okay, anyway. Likes a special elementary school teacher and her daughter. Aw. It's assumed that they probably get together by the end. But... Oh, dislikes testosterone. Males and men? Okay. Oh, likes boobs and erotic novels. Well, there you go. Oh, wait, what did it say? He is one of So's main bodyguards. Even though he looks alike, they're not clones. They all wear face masks to hide their identity. Oh, well, there you go. Not the laziness of character design, just they all wear masks. Lowest rating maker of the Kumakura. Won a dog training contest. Is that why he has a dog on his jacket or whatever? Dislikes his big brother. Animal cruelty. Likes ass. Well, I mean, man of my own heart, right? Erotic novels, his boss. Likes dominatrixes. Dislikes domestic violence. Hobbies, dissection. Wow, didn't expect that. Hobbies. Jocks and queen bee. Oh, dislikes jocks and queen bees. Why queen bees? We need bees. Bees are important. Have you seen the documentary about what the world would be like without bees? Yeah, it would still survive, but we wouldn't like it. Likes candles, ropes, and ropes. Rodeos? Whoa. She can shave really, really fast. Gotta shave those legs. The receptionist. Likes yellow spotted river turtles. Well, that's random. Dislikes men's that act like ballers but are really scrubs. Okay, that's definitely an English translation. Hobbies, gaming, partying, skills, anti-aging techniques. Let me see. She likes men that are real bros and can vibe with them from the jump. Lately, her shoulders have been stiffening up on her, though. I wonder why. Let's see. She likes rat-a-tat-tat, bang-bang, and slappity-slap. Stays for hours. Dislikes sea kings who stay for an hour after ordering just 1 cup of coffee. Huh. Well, she's not going to get much tips that way. Hobbies. Breeding triple wart sea devils. I am not aware of that. Exploiting the vanities of her customers to make huge sums of money. Huge swaths of cash. She's friends with Iris. Goes on haunted tours and UFO sightings with them, apparently. Random taxi driver. Ghosts, doppelgangers, fists. He likes fists and saws and chimneys, huh? Dislikes people who watch the map on their smartphones the whole ride. Hobbies, multi-level marketing, skills, tales, sticking around, keeping things casual. Overview. He's a taxi driver specializing in driving celebrities and entertainers. He has a special relationship with lemon skin and often drives their talent. The random inspector. Likes ear picks, dandelions, afros, pisaran. Dislikes people who don't remember his name. Cilantro, ginkgo, or whatever. Training, surfing, extreme ironing. Pretends to be dead is a skill. That's funny. He was assigned a new Cyclops serial killings. He's actually really cute when he takes off his mask. And he's single. Ooh la la. Well, that's it for the appendix. I didn't really talk much about the game overall. While I was doing that because I was just going over. I liked the game. The story, I think, for the most part, was pretty confident. They tied up most of the loose ends. I think it did a pretty good job keeping just enough information while finding ways to keep it about. I liked most of the characters for the most part, especially Date and Aiba. I thought they were a good couple and group that worked together. Some of the music was okay. There were a few tunes, though, that really kicked it, so I guess I say the music was decent. The story was decent. I liked most of the characters for the most part. Some of the jokes did get... Oh, wait, the comedy part of it. Some of the jokes and certain themes did get a bit grating after a while, especially when I had to do... When I was recording this, I tried to record like a lot of these back-to-back, so there were stints of me just playing certain episodes, so you start seeing certain jokes and patterns, like, constantly, especially if you play it pretty straightforward, and a lot of those got really annoying after a while. Really, anything with Mizuki was super obnoxious to me. I was trying to tune out to that stuff half the time. I was like, can we skip this, please? Yeah, that's why I didn't like the Mizuki path, even though, she lost her parents, and I get why she's like that. It's just, I hate that personality type. It's one of the most obnoxious personality types, and I do not know why it's so popular with certain people. I do not get it. It's just annoying, Let me think what else. The gameplay was pretty straightforward. Somniums were pretty easy. Not that they need to be difficult, so not much to the gameplay, because it's either basically watch the story unfold or interact through the Somnium. But I did like them giving Aiba so many things to do, and by making you interact with different things and giving you comedic responses. At least it gave you a reason to check on everything and see what happened to Aiba, or how Aiba and Date reacted to certain things. And I did like Aiba's cute form or whatever. Definitely marketable. Trying to think what else. I thought the murder mystery, obviously it had to do some weird sci-fi stuff to it, but I think it did just enough to, because I didn't guess. I think most of the stuff I guessed, before playing this, I guessed main character had something to do with the murders. Obviously, I mean, that's usually how it is. Usually they end up tying to it, but a lot of the stuff I could guess. I didn't guess all the particulars, like certain character traits or certain twists. Because the body swapping thing, obviously I didn't guess until the game mentions it. Straight up mentions that there's a body swap thing. I'm like, okay, that's going to be important because they mention it. But I wasn't sure how crazy it would go in a murder mystery, like how Would it go straight murder mystery? Would it do some really weird stuff with it? And for the most part, it didn't until we got to the body switching part. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little weird. So it wasn't a straightforward murder mystery. I had to go into some sci-fi territory to make it a bit different from it. But I did like some of the sci-fi aspects, like Aiba and all that. And I like the fact that Aiba was not always the straight. You know how sometimes in a lot of games the main character might end up being the joke character, and the other character with, the sidekick is usually like the straight character, for comedic purposes, or the other way around. Like Date could have been the straight character and she was the jokester. Although that would have been interesting. But they made it to where she was straight most of the time, but she still got in on the silly action when you made her do silly things in the Somnium and whatever, so that made her more endearing. Because if she was the straight character the whole time, it might have gotten annoying, because then it's like, oh, she's infallible, all this other stuff. But no, she got in on the silliness from every once in a while. And obviously some of the sci-fi elements went a little bit too overboard, like the whole, the 12-year-old girl is actually super, like, Dragon Ball Z style. I'm like, okay, you set up these rules, and then all of a sudden this girl is like, super strong all of a sudden, although she can get shot and tear gassed. I did enjoy that part where she got shot and tear gassed, and no, I am not joking. So overall, I thought it was a pleasant experience for the game. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it. Like I said, there were parts where I was starting to get tired of this game and I wanted it to end. And then when we finally got to the serious part of the game, I think it was when I was playing the Irish joke section is when I was really starting to get tired of the game. Even though I was playing the joke storyline, I was actually getting pretty sick of the game. But then we got back onto the other track where we actually got into an actual murder mystery. Then I was back on board again. So I guess it goes to show I'm more into the serious part of these stories than I am the jokey parts. I'm one of those guys that wants a serious story with a bit of levity than the other way around. But it kind of depends on, if I want levity or jokey, at that point it might as well just be a straight comedy if you're going too much into that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my look over all this, the gameplay in general. I probably could have done a much better job at maybe splitting episodes, or maybe keeping my commentary to a minimum for the purpose of the game, because this game took me a lot longer to finish. I didn't realize, even though it was a visual novel and it's all about reading and getting the story, I didn't realize how long it'd be. But at least it's not as long as some of the other visual novels I recorded before. But yeah, I did made a lot of episodes on this, so I was actually generally surprised. I don't know if I'd ever pay attention to the story again at this point, but I guess I'm glad I at least encountered it. It's better than some other visual novels I've read or enjoyed before. So Spike Chunsoft seems to have from what I heard, has a pretty decent record for visual novels, because they have that 999 franchise, which a lot of people tend to like. And then they did do Will: A Wonderful World, which wasn't bad. I think I enjoyed this one a little bit better, because Will: A Wonderful World was basically almost straight up reading, but it almost got too depressing at parts because of how the world in the game worked. At least this one got depressing, but it had just small bits of levity, even though the other game did. And then obviously there was The World Ends With You, or not, it's not The World Ends With You, I keep saying that, but the other visual novel, the one that took me forever to record, that one had too much comedy and not enough seriousness, and I can't believe I 100%ed that game, really. It was one of those, I got to a point where I was just like, you have to finish it at that point. So anyway, but yeah, that's it for II the Somnium Files. So thanks for watching, enjoying the ride. Well, I don't know what else to much say. I guess if you liked the game, you bought it. If you didn't, you avoided it if you didn't like the story or whatever. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next game.